Welcome back to the Popcorn Junkies podcast, where we talk about the movies that haunt us. Ooh, I'm super excited about this episode. This is one of my favorite zombie movies. Not even one of. This is my favorite zombie movie ever. I remember seeing this in theaters, and when I left, I was just blown away by how great this movie was. So yeah, I'm super, super excited to talk about this one today. So grab your popcorn, because today I'm going to talk about Train to Busan. Alright, so Train to Busan is a South Korean film that came out in 2016. It does have subtitles. If you're one of those people that's like, I don't want to read while I watch a movie, I totally understand. I would suggest that you give this movie a try, because it is so good that I feel like it deserves a chance. If you can't do it, you're missing out. But that's not the point. You should definitely try it. And I'm gonna butcher a lot of these names probably, because I'm not from Korea. I'm gonna do the best that I can. I'm just a guy, okay? I'm not an expert in any of this. All right, so I'm gonna do my best. Here we go. So the director, Yeon Sang-ho, also directed the prequel and the sequel. Although it's not a direct sequel. So I haven't seen the prequel. The prequel's animated. So there's the animated prequel, Train to Busan, and then the third one is called Peninsula. Peninsula is good. So if you like Train to Busan, you'll probably like Peninsula. However, Peninsula's got a really different flavor to it. So it's not like a direct sequel. It's like another story that's happening in the world that Train to Busan happens in, if that makes sense. Peninsula's a lot more action. It reminds me more of like a Mad Max, but instead of like post-apocalypse, it's like in the middle of the zombie apocalypse type thing. But it is still very, very good. He's also got 15 more directing credits. He directed 5 episodes of Parasite: The Grey, which is the live-action adaptation of the horror anime Parasite, which I've heard is really good, and I've been wanting to see, but I just haven't got around to it. I like the original Parasite, and I've heard good things about this Parasite, so I want to watch that. But that's not what we're talking about today. Anyway, yeah, Train to Busan. I'm gonna try to keep this intro more short without gushing about it, because there's a lot of things that I will gush about, and a lot of things that I gush about is going to be in the movie already. Like, I'm going to hit the part and then I'm going to be like, oh, this part's so great. So I won't gush about it now. I'll gush about it later, and then we can enjoy what I'm gushing about at the same time, if that makes sense. Anyway, this is a horror action movie, so if you're not super into horror movies, you might like this one a little more, because this is a little less jump scary and more, it's a really good mix. If you're not super into horror, you might like this, because there's a little more action to it. And if maybe you're not super into action, you like more horror stuff, you might like this because it's more horror. It's a good movie for everybody. At the time of recording this, it said that it's streaming on Disney Plus. I didn't check that out. I own the DVD, so I just watched my DVD copy. But if you have Disney Plus, you should have this. You should have access to this. So I would recommend, if you have Disney Plus, going to watch Train to Busan. Alright, and this one's a long movie. It's not long, but it's a longer movie than I've done. So this episode is going to be longer than any one that I've done so far. That'll be exciting. Anyway, here we go. Ready? Put myself into it. Alright, here we go. So it starts with a guy driving a truck through a checkpoint. Like one of those where you have to pull up and stop and someone comes up and talks to you, like one of those checkpoints. Whenever I think of checkpoints, I think of like border checkpoints. It's kind of like that, except instead of being like borders. There's signs everywhere around this checkpoint that say like quarantine zone. And as he slowly is driving through it, a guy in a hazmat suit is spraying his truck with what looks like a pressure washer, like a pressure washer gun, right? But it's some kind of sanitizer. Then the man drives forward and rolls down his window, and he's talking to a second gentleman in a hazmat suit. And he asks the man, "Are you going to bury the hogs again?" And the man in the hazmat suit responds with, "It isn't foot and mouth disease. There's a leak at the biotech district. It's not anything to worry about." The man driving the truck doesn't believe him and drives through. While mumbling to himself about how bad of a day he's having, his phone rings. He goes to reach for it, just taking his eyes off for a second, and then he hits something. He goes to see what it was, and it turns out it was a deer. He gets back into his truck and drives away, and we kind of pan back over to the deer as he's driving off. After about a second, it starts to twitch, and then its body starts to spasm, and it rights itself and manages to stand up. We get a close-up of its face, and we can see that its eyes are milky white. Cut to the title screen. Train to Busan. Now we meet our main character. If you've watched Squid Games, he plays the guy in the train station who gives out the invitation. When that plays that game where you slap the other person, and then he gives him the invitation to go to Squid Games. He's that guy. He's a big actor in South Korea. He's been in over 34 movies and TV shows. He's won 5 awards for Best Actor and has been nominated for more than 15 awards, including Fangoria's Chainsaw for Best Actor in Train to Busan. His name is Gong Yo, and if you watch any South Korean anything, you might have seen him. Anyways, character's name is So. I googled how to say that. That is how to say it. It's pronounced S-E-O-K. Or it's spelled S-E-O-K, but it's pronounced So-woo. Anyway, so we meet So-woo. And we see him inside his cubicle eating a lunch at Burger King, which is the scariest part of this entire movie. And he's talking on the phone to someone about some business stuff. Very, very business speech. You know, sell, buy, buy. What are the numbers doing? What is the inflation? Very business-oriented type conversation. It's a little vague what they're talking about, but he does mention that he's just a novice. So he's new to this job, pretty much. He hangs up the phone and picks it back up to call, I guess, his, what do they call it? Secretary. Yes. He hangs up the phone, picks it back up to call his secretary, and asks her to send Kim in. While waiting, we see that he's reading an article on mysterious fish deaths. Kim comes in and asks what they should do, and So responds with, sell everything. Before Kim leaves, So asks him, what do kids like these days? We're now in a parking garage as So gets out of his car and is arguing on the phone with the woman. They're talking about custody of their child. The woman is questioning how much of a father So is. Does he even know that his daughter wants to go visit her tomorrow by himself? So says she's a child, she can't go by herself, and the woman says, well then bring her, she wants to go. Upset by this, he hangs up and grabs a gift bag from his back seat along with his work briefcase. As he enters his very nice apartment, his mother greets him at the door. He asks where Soo-an is, which is the name of his daughter. He opens the door to his daughter's room, and she's under the blanket talking to her mom on the phone. She's saying, I'll ride the train by myself, and you can pick me up from the train station. He knocks on her door and turns on the light. Soo-an hangs up the phone and sits up in her bed. So tells her, I know you wanted to go to Busan, but I'm really busy at work. How about we wait until next week when I have time? Soo-an doesn't say anything, so he grabs his present, tells her happy birthday, and says, what, you thought I forgot? She opens it up, and we see a brand new Mario Edition Wii U. So says, this part always makes me sad. So says, don't you like it? And Soo-an raises her head to look at her dresser, and on top of her dresser is the exact same Mario Edition Wii U. She says, you bought me it for Children's Day this year. Then she says, honestly, something super heartbreaking. She says, I won't waste your time, I'll go by myself. And that would absolutely kill me if I was a father. She's like 7 or 8. If my 7 or 8-year-old looked at me and said, I won't waste your time, I would die. I would not be able to handle that, honestly. That is one of the saddest things. And that's a running theme in this movie. If you like getting sad, This movie will do it. This movie makes me sad. Okay? And not even because it's a zombie movie and people are going to die. There is genuinely some really great emotional moments mostly between Suan and So. But, man, I'm just thinking about myself and how much that would just tear me up to hear my kid say, I won't waste your time. So now we're in So's room. And So's mother asked him if he's been busy with work. And he says, yes, it's a very crucial time for me. And his mom says it's a crucial time for Suan, too. And that she was upset that he couldn't make her recital. He agrees to take her to Busan tomorrow, and his mom leaves a video camera on the bed as she leaves the room. He watches the recording on the video camera, and it's Suan singing a song in front of her class. She looks sad before she stops singing altogether. This part is also really, really sad. She's starting to sing this song, and she stops singing, and she's looking all around her classroom for her dad. You can tell she's looking for her dad because she's looking back and forth. And when she can't find him, she just stops singing altogether. And you can hear her teacher say, like, it's okay, keep singing, it's okay. And she just can't sing anymore, and she starts to cry. Devastating. Devastated. The next morning, he's bringing her to the train station. It's still dark outside, and they're talking about the recital. He's telling her that no matter what you do, you must finish what he started. As he's getting out these last words, he slams on the brakes. Fire trucks and ambulances rush in front of him. Suan notices something falling from the sky, and it almost looks like snow. She rolls down the window and sticks her hand out, and she gets a piece of it landing in her palm. And when we can see it, it looks like ash. We can see in the reflection of the driver's side window that there is a building in the middle of downtown that's on fire. So says, it looks like something is happening. Boy, could he ever be more correct. Something is happening. So yeah, we just got fucking buildings on fire at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what time it is. Dark time in the morning. We're at the train station, and we can see everyone is boarding train 4. It's a bunch of random people, obviously. Also what looks like a high school or college baseball team and their cheerleader. 2 elderly women traveling together, eating hard-boiled eggs. Nice. So and Suan get on, and he's on the phone with Kim. Kim is saying that they've been getting a bunch of calls, and people are upset. So tells him just write him a report, and he'll be back before lunch, and hangs up. The train station attendant is waving the okay to lock the doors. Before they can shut and lock the doors, one more lady manages to get on. She's kind of shaky and has scratches on her leg. The station attendant steps away and notices down the hall, down the station, there's a crowd of people gathered around the area. They sound frightened. They're like yelling, and it looks almost like they're all crowded around whatever's happening, right? And so they're freaking out about that. As the train pulls away, we see Sue staring out the window. Just then, we see an out-of-focus station worker jumped by what looks like another person. And we can see the ending result as we drive away. Cut to the lady who got on last. She's in the bathroom using pantyhose to make a tourniquet on her leg. She has a bite on her ankle and it's spreading up. She keeps repeating that she's sorry. Some passengers get the attention of one of the attendants and say that there's a weird man in the bathroom. Suan hears the commotion and so is asleep, so she decides to get up and go look. The attendant opens the bathroom door and a homeless man is sitting there on the floor. He just keeps repeating, everyone is dead. The bitten lady is walking down the aisle now. Well, walking is being really nice. She's kind of shuffling. She can hardly stand up, and she looks terrible. Her skin looks waxy, and her eyes look sunken in and gaunt. She gets to the in-between cars. I don't know if you've ever ridden the train, but there's like the section where all the people sit, and then there's like this separate area that's no one's sitting in, but it's just like a connector, right? So she's in one of those. I don't know what that's called, but it's like where the bathrooms are and all that other. I don't know what's it called, but she's in this area. Anyway, so she gets into this in between area, and she falls over and spazzes on the floor. Meanwhile, Suan is looking for the bathroom, and she finds one with this big dude standing out front. He stops her from going in and says sorry, his wife in there, she's going to take a while. I just want to say, This guy she's talking to, this big guy, my favorite character. I do not want to spoil why. This is my favorite character of the movie. And you know what? I'm going to make a prediction right now. Call me Chris Angel. I'm making a prediction right now. He will also be your favorite if you watch the movie. He might be your favorite just at the end of this episode. But if you watch the movie, he will be your favorite character. He is such a good fucking character. See, here I go, gushing again, and they haven't even introduced him yet. We don't even know his name. He's such a great fucking character. An attendant finds the lady on the ground, the one that was bitten, and calls for help on her walkie-talkie. She says they are in car 11. Soo-An is woken up by his phone ringing. It's Kim. He's saying whatever problems they did have before are now much worse. There are riots all across the nation. And as this conversation is happening, another attendant walks by him, talking to the first lady, like through a walkie-talkie, right? He's asking if it's airborne and what's happening. And we hear the woman say, she keeps having seizures. So we cut back to the lady on the floor has stopped moving altogether. The attendant turns around to call her chief. And when she does, we can see the woman slowly stand up. Her eyes are milky white, and you can see all the veins in her body, and she's just snarling. Soo-An finds a bathroom, and thankfully locks the door as she goes inside. We cut to the train with the baseball team in it. They all look in shock as the stewardess walks down the aisle with this person on her back, almost like she was giving a piggyback ride. The attendant falls to the ground, and the person on her back lifts their head up, and with blood all over their face, snarls at the whole car full of young people. She attacks one of the young men, and they start to react, of course. The attendant is now back to moving, and she's snarling too. So, I really like the way that they reanimate the corpses in this. Like, obviously, a reanimated corpse, you just get bitten and then you come back, right? But, like, they do this thing to where they stop moving, right, because they die. And then, when they turn, it's so jerky. Like, how do I explain this? Like the deer in the very beginning. When it reanimated after getting hit by the truck, for a good few seconds, its limbs were flailing as if, like, its brain just turned on again, and it was just grasping for something to hold on to, if that makes sense. Like, just flailing around, right? It's super creepy when you see a person do it, because their body's twisting and turning in these, like, seemingly unnatural ways really, really quick while her arms are flailing out, just looking for something to grab to pull herself back up. It's such a great visual of from being dead to being a zombie. And it's so great. Just one of the many great things about this movie. Anyway, so now the attendant is also a zombie. So now we've got 2 zombies on board. And shit is gonna go down. So is looking for Soo-An now. They were in car 4. Or something. Yeah, they were in car 4. And all this is happening in car 11. So nothing crazy is happening yet in his car. But there are people running away from what's going on. And like running through his car to run to further away from from what's going on. Back to Soo-An, who's washing her hands. And we can start to hear screaming outside of the bathroom door. So is in car 7. And the attendant is trying to get the last people out of the car when that attendant gets attacked by the zombie stewardess. It's impossible to tell now what zombie is who, because there's just been so many attacks. I can't tell if these people are people we've seen before now, or if they're just randos, because, again, there's been so many zombies. There's a whole train car that's been eaten, essentially. Anyway, but he sees the attendant get attacked right in front of him. Everyone in this car is getting attacked and immediately reanimating. From behind him, we hear Soo-An say, "Daddy," and he turns and scoops her up and runs. There are so many zombies chasing him, it's literally like a sea of bodies. He's running car to car trying to get away. And we get back to the big guy I mentioned earlier, the one who's my favorite character, right? And he notices the commotion and knocks on the door to get his wife out. This is where we learn that his name is Sang. I don't know how to say it. HWA is his last name. But Sang is his first name. And his wife, who we will learn later, her name is Sung, which is kind of cute that they would make a couple and the name would be Sang and Sung. I guess that may not be cute in Korean, but I think that's kind of cute in English because, the past tense of the same word. Anyway, his wife, Sung, is very pregnant. Very, very pregnant, right? In the car in front of Sang is So and Suan. In between them is a woman getting attacked by a zombie. Sang pulls the zombie off the woman, but still just assuming it's a dude acting violent for some reason, he starts to wrestle with him. This gives So the room he needs to get past, and Sang locks the zombie in the bathroom. Sang manages to hold everything off while Sung starts to run. We see on the news channel that the riots they're talking about are actually zombie outbreaks. So makes it to a clean car, clean as in no zombies, and a guy... Oh, okay. Alright. I'm about to gush again, but for a different reason. Okay. So a guy who turns out to be the worst fucking character in this movie tells him to shut the door, even though Sung and his wife are still trying to make it. This guy, the one that I just said, it turns out to be the worst character, is the worst fucking part of this movie. Let me tell you, if at the end of this movie you like this character, fucking reevaluate your life, okay? Reevaluate it. This character sucks. Unfortunately, he's well written. He's written well to be a bad character. So, you're supposed to hate him, and boy, do I fucking hate him. Man, do I hate this dude. Anyway, so he says to shut the door before Sang and Sung make it. So shuts the door, locking them out until Suan says that she knows him, and So lets them in. Before they get in, though, a zombie gets close, and fucking Sang gives the zombie a mad right hook, dude. He just fucking turns around and BAM! Right in the fucking zombie mouth, dude. It knocks the zombie back, and it gives them all time to get to the clean car. They shut the door, and are looking for a lock when they realize, A, zombies don't know how to use handles. So any door that is shut is practically locked. And B, zombies only attack what they see. I mean, I guess that was obvious, but... if they stop seeing you, they instantly de-aggro. Because now they just have no... Their brain doesn't work. They don't have critical thinking skills. As soon as they stop seeing prey, in their mind, it's gone. So Sung takes newspaper, and by wetting the glass, she puts the newspaper over the glass and makes it stick, and instantly the zombies calm down. Anyway, in the clean car, Sang gets into it with So because of him shutting them out. They both get interrupted by an announcement saying, because of the current situation, we won't be making our next stop. So now everyone is stuck on this train. The worst character, who we're going to learn his name in a little bit, I don't even want to give him a name because he doesn't deserve it because he's a garbage person. And I hope he dies. Anyway, the worst character goes to a speaker that lets them talk with the driver. It's like a little intercom where you can press, you know what I'm saying? Like an intercom built into the wall, but where you can talk to the person on the other end of the intercom, if that makes sense. So he's asking the driver what's going on and why they don't stop. The train driver answers that he's just following the orders he was given. To where this dude just says, well, stop at the next stop anyway. So gets a call from his mom. She asks if everything's okay. She doesn't understand why everyone's fighting. She sounds kind of in pain. She sounds labored. She sounds like talking is hard for her, if that makes sense, right? Like it's labor intensive, right? And So asks, "Are you hurt? Why do you sound like that?" And then he proceeds to listen to his mother turn into a zombie, which it's a crazy part. You just listen to, man, what a good part. Also, heartbreaking. Her last words to him before completely turning are, "Take care of Suan." Like I said before, fucking heartbreaking. As they drive through the station, they get bombarded by people trying to get onto the train. They're screaming and banging on the windows until a horde of zombies takes down every single person, smearing blood on the windows of the train. It's a fucking slaughter, dude. It's gnarly. And the train continues forward as we just see bodies and bodies being eaten by an uncountable amount of zombies. On the train, in the middle of the aisle, there's like a TV. And the TV's playing like the news, right? Just something you'd see like on a bus or whatever. Right? Or on a plane. And on the TV is some kind of official reading a statement. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like whatever South Korea's version of like a mayor is. Or like a city official. Anyway, the statement goes along the lines of there's dangerous riots happening where police and citizens are getting hurt as a result. We're locking down parts of the city and we're urging people not to believe the baseless rumors and trust that the government is doing everything in their powers to handle this situation. While that message plays, we get this really beautiful scene. It's just shots and shots of the city falling apart, right? Cars are crashed on the road, zombies literally falling from helicopters and planes, people getting attacked on the street, and even an aerial view of the city where several buildings are smoking and one building is actively blowing up. In short, it's all fucked. Everything's fucked. But back to the train, because that's where we're at for this movie. We're not in the city, we're in the train. It's a train movie. That's why it's called Train to Busan, because it's a train movie. Back to the train. Everyone is moving up a car. Suwon gives up her seat so the two old ladies from the beginning can sit next to each other. So tells her at a time like this she should only watch out for herself. Another announcement happens and they say that the train will stop at a station coming up and that when they stop everyone must get off. The military is there and they will secure the train. So tells Suwon to wait there while he goes and makes a call. She just so happened to be standing by Sang and Sung, who offer her a piece of candy, saying it's Sleepy's favorite snack, Sleepy being the baby in her belly. Suwon asks her, "You're naming the baby Sleepy?" Sung tells her, "No, Sleepy's just a nickname. We just call her Sleepy because her dad hasn't come up with a name yet." And they get Suwon to smile by letting her touch her belly, and when she touches her belly, she feels Sleepy kick. So steps away to make a call to someone named Min. He tells Min he's on his way to Daejeon and asks if it's really safe. Min tells him that he'll be quarantined when he gets there. So asks if there's anything they can do not to let him get quarantined. He promises Min he'll get him a hell of a scoop, so he must be like a reporter or something. Min says go to the east gate instead of the south. He'll let his guys know. They arrive in Daejeon, that's it. They arrive in Daejeon, but it's empty. It looks abandoned. The guy who I said was the worst character is the first one off the train. His name is Yong Suk, which is super funny because he does suck. And that is my dad joke for the episode, and I promise there will be no more. Yong finds the conductor and tells him he's the COO of Stallion Express, and Daejeon is in quarantine and the only safe place is Busan. He tries to get the conductor to start up the train and keep driving. The train conductor says, "Well, we should tell everyone else." And Yon says, "Who else?" before the train conductor leaves to get with the other people. This is where we start to see Yon as like a bad guy. He's already starting to show that he only cares about himself, which leads him to being a piece of shit later. Oh, yeah. We're about to come up. We're about to come up with two of my favorite scenes, and I can't wait to talk about those scenes specifically. All right, everyone is walking to the train station. I've never really been to a train station before, so maybe they all look like this. But to me, it reminds me of an airport, kind of just like big and polished and nice looking, like big waiting areas where everyone sits to wait on their train and stuff. Maybe that's how all train stations look, but to me, it really reminded me of like an airport. Everything is taped off, and So moves a barricade to the side so he can go down in the area that Min told him about. Sang notices him do this and tells Sung not to worry about it. The homeless man sees them going and says he's going to follow. So tells him no, and the guy replies with, I heard your phone call. They're all going to quarantine. You're going to get out of here. Suwon says she has to tell the others, when So tells her that it's only them now. Suan starts to cry and says, you only care about yourself. That's why mommy left. Fucking boom! Were you ready for another one? That one came out of nowhere, didn't it? That's why mommy left? What the fuck? Ow. Yeah, we're not done with the heartbreak until the fucking credits roll. So you better strap the fuck in, because we're getting more heartbreaking scenes. Okay? It's happening. Back to the main group. They're headed down an escalator towards the quarantine zone when Sang notices a bloody riot shield and a bloody military helmet on the ground. Back to So, and he's walking down this hall, and at the end of this hall, a military man, well, a man in military clothes, steps from around the corner. I say steps to fill you with like a false sense of security. He actually kind of shuffles around the corner. The homeless man sees him and starts to run towards him, thinking he's finally safe. Incorrect. At the bottom of the escalator, we see a horde of military people snarling and facing away from everyone. Yeah, no one's safe. They turn around and rush everyone coming down the stairs. Fucking brutal. Slaying so many people. Back to the hallway. So gets another call from Min. Min says frantically, is everything okay? I can't get a hold of my guys. So then we get a close-up of the military guy walking towards him. And he's covered in blood and he's limping. He's crying out for help when a zombie runs from behind him and tackles him to the ground and starts to eat him. So turns around as the hallway fills with zombies, and we get this slow-motion running scene of him running back to Suwon. And behind Suwon, we can see everyone in the train station run past and are followed by military zombies. Okay, one of the zombies lunges for Suwon, still in slow motion, right before the zombie gets here. Fucking Sang elbows the zombie right in the fucking face. I love Sang so much. He gives the zombies a few good right hooks, which is enough time for Sung to run up and grab Suwon and get out of there. They make it to safety, but before he can get there, So gets jumped. He's losing his wrestling match with the zombie when the homeless man runs by and throws his jacket over the zombie attacking So. And since we learned earlier that their aggression is based on sight, it immediately de-aggros, which gives So and the homeless man enough time to run through the door before getting locked in. Several people who escaped made it back to the train, and when they open the doors to get back in, zombies come pouring out of the train and attack them. Sung sees this from inside the train station, so she's running. Her and Suwon are running, and a group of other people are running back to the train, right? And they're running over, again, like an airport, to where there are windows so you can see the trains pulling up, right? And through these windows, in the hallway she's running through, she can see all these people getting attacked by the zombies just pouring out of trains. The train conductor, Yon, and the baseball team, or what's left of them anyway, and a few others make it to a train that isn't overrun. The cheerleader, whose name we'll learn later is Jin, and a baseball boy, who we'll learn later his name is Young, are trying to get everyone onto the train when Yon yells at them, saying, why aren't we leaving yet? And when he's told that there are still people coming, he gets upset. Like, I know you're afraid, and I get that there's a lot of stuff happening, but like he really doesn't care about a single person survive. All he cares about is him surviving, which I guess kind of at the end of the day I would too, but I feel like I would at least pretend to care if I didn't really. I don't know. Maybe I would in that situation, but I feel like if there are actively people like running, right, I would be prepared to help people. I feel like. I don't think I would be like, well, fuck everyone else type. If they're not going to make it, they're not going to make it. But I don't think I'd be like, well, to fuck them. Anyway, the two grannies are running when the weight of all the zombies in the station above the tracks breaks the windows and they start falling on top of the train. One zombie falls between the two grannies, separating them. When Sung and Suan help one granny onto the train, while Jin and an attendant help the other granny onto the train. And this is where we learn that those two grannies are sisters, because one of them calls out, but my sister! So they're sisters. We don't ever get names for them. Soo-an just calls them grannies because they're grandmas, of course. I think they say each other's names like once, but not important. It is important. I just didn't write it down. The homeless man manages to get on right before getting tackled by zombies. On the train, Yon grabs the attendant by the shirt collar and says that they have to leave. Jin cries that all of her friends aren't here yet, and he violently shoves her back. Like, dude, he fucking pushes the shit out of her, saying everyone on this train must survive. The attendant tells the conductor to depart, leaving behind So, Sang, and 3 other baseball players, including Young, at the station. So, Sang, So, and Young, that is so hard to say all together. Sang, So, and Young, this whole time they ran through the doors, right, after So got attacked, and he put the jacket over the zombie's head, right, so he could get through. They ran through a set of doors. They let all the girls run, and Sang, So, and Young were holding the door closed so that they could try to lock it, to try to lock all these zombies in there, because there's probably 100 of them in here, right? So they've been spending this whole time trying to lock the door, because in their mind they think if they can all lock them in this room, there's no more, right? So this is where they've been the whole time. So the train starts leaving behind So, Sang, and three of the baseball boys, including Young. Just as they manage to lock the door and run, the zombies smash through the glass and start flooding out, giving chase. I love the visual of the zombies pushing so hard against the glass that the glass breaks and they all fall out. It feels, I used the analogy before, like a wave of zombies. That could not be more true. Think any water-based movie at all. Any water-based movie where a ship starts to sink. Think the Titanic. Think that one movie with Kristen Stewart where they find the fucking Cthulhu demon under the water. Anything with water, when you have a cracked piece of glass and the glass finally shatters and all the water just starts pouring in through that, this is what it's like whenever the zombies break through the glass. It is literally like a sea of zombies just flooding into wherever they're coming from, and it's so cool. Like, it's not, how do I describe it? It's not like the zombies smash the glass and then they just walk through it, right? They break it from the pure weight of all of their bodies on top of it, and it just starts to flood, and they just start to fall over each other. And something about the way that they did that just feels so real and just so cool. Back to the thing, because I went off on a tangent. From the station, So can see the train is starting to move, and he tells everyone they have to run faster. At the bottom of the stairs, 2 of the baseball team guys are immediately taken down by zombies. And we can see from where the zombies came from that there's another horde right behind them. So the last baseball team member, who is Young, and So, managed to hop onto an open door as the train is pulling away. So puts his hand out for Sang. This is such a cool part. He puts his hand out for Sang, right? So he can pull Sang onto the moving train. Sang's running, hand out, right? Until he pulls away. So he runs away from the train, and he runs away to grab a riot shield and a baton on the ground. He tells So to look out as he's about to collide with some zombies. So So's got his head out of the train, facing Sang, right? So he's looking at Sang, and Sang's looking at him. So they're looking in opposite directions, so he can see what's behind So. And behind So is like zombies running at him, right? So he tells So to look out because he's about to collide with some zombies. Now Sang is the only person left on the train platform with thousands of zombies after him, and countless between him and the door, and he's just bashing into each of these fucking zombies like Eddie Guerrero with a steel chair.
Can you feel the heat? Say hello to Eddie.
He manages to make it onto the train, thank God. The train conductor manages to get a hold of the control tower and asks if it's safe to stop in Busan. They tell him they don't know because they can't get a hold of anyone in Busan, but they will clear the way for them. Back inside the train with Sung. In this car, it's her, Soo-an, one of the grannies, and homeless man. Anyway, Sung pulls out her phone to make a call when the homeless man stops her. He points to the car behind him, and it's full of zombies, and the door is open. They luckily haven't been spotted yet, and the train car in front of them also has zombies in it who haven't spotted them yet. Sung quietly walks over to the bathroom, which is open. She puts Soo-an in first, and then Granny, and then Homeless Man. As Homeless Man gets in, she's spotted. So all the zombies rush her, and she barely makes it inside the bathroom herself. A zombie's head is blocking them from closing the door all the way. So it's Homeless Man and Sung are desperately trying to close the door, while all these other zombies are trying to rip it open. I'm going to label these next couple train cars as cars 1, 2, and 3. It's really like, I think it's 13, 7, and 4, if I remember correctly. But there's 3 different cars that our heroes are in, right? So I'm just going to, for the sake of making it a little easier, because we're not all in the same car. Okay. So, in train car 3, they're in 3. The Homeless Man, Soo-an, Granny, and Sung are in car 3. In train car 2 is the majority of everyone else, including Jin, the other Granny, Yeon, and the attendant. In train car 1 is So, Sang, and Granny. In car 2 now, we hear another announcement about how they are going straight to Busan, no stops in between. Yeon takes the attendant's walkie-talkie and asks the conductor if he's made contact with Busan. The conductor says not really, their radio signal is kind of erratic. And Yeon yells into the walkie-talkie, "Go straight to Busan as quickly as possible, you understand me?" Jin gets a call, and it's from Young. Young and Jin are crying on the phone to each other. Young's saying everyone is dead and he's sorry. So is trying to call someone, and Sang is calling his wife. Soo-an answers Sung's phone and tells them they are trapped in the bathroom. Sang asks where they are, and his wife says car 13. Sung's phone is ringing in the bathroom while her and Homeless Man are trying to close the door on a zombie's head. Right? Soo-an answers on speakerphone. Sang says, "Where are you?" And Sung says car 13. They're in car 9. So 4 cars. And Young says everyone else is in car 15. He starts to rummage through all the bags left on the train and finds a bag with what looks like truck straps and tape. Like when you're moving and you have to move like a large piece of furniture or something, and you strap down stuff on the back of trucks, like truck straps. I don't know what else they're called. I assume that's what they're called. He starts wrapping them around his hands and his wrists like bracers. Sang sees him doing this and takes off his coat, where we can see that homeboy has some muscle to him. Sang tells him they have to go through 4 cars. Sang's going to lead, Young is in the middle, and So is on the back. So takes the riot shield and baton. Sang has his arms wrapped and taped around as they step forward into the next car, ready to fight 4 cars worth of zombies. Okay, this part is my favorite part, because this whole sequence is so fucking cool to see. Sang steps into the car and immediately missile kicks the first zombie in the fucking chest. The next zombie he gives a right hook to. A zombie after that, he snaps his neck and throws it aside like a piece of trash. He's clearing the way while Young and So beat down the rest of the zombies with a baton and a baseball bat. Sang even takes a zombie and slams him into the ceiling like fucking Kane lifting people above his head before he tosses them out of the ring. It's fucking wild. They need you to see that Sang is not a bitch, and Sang is anything but a bitch. Young is hitting some home runs across zombie faces, and So has managed to bash past the rest of them to get them to the next door. 1 car down, 3 to go. The next car is full of Young's teammates, so he's frozen, not wanting to attack his friends, right? Just like in total shock. Sang shoves him out of the way and starts delivering left hooks like an alcoholic father to his wife who burned the meatloaf. In the fight, So loses his shield. Above the seats in the overhead bin, he finds a baseball bat and takes that, but he quickly gets pinned. He gets pinned and Sang gets pinned, and Young is still frozen, and it looks like it's the end for our heroes, but then the train goes through a tunnel, and the zombies immediately stop attacking. Turns out, in darkness, they are completely blind. So we already knew that they don't attack what they can't see, and in darkness, completely blind. Everyone is standing around quietly when a bag of baseballs falls and hits the ground hard. The sound alerts the zombies, who all go to investigate the noise, leaving everyone else alone. Just as they make it to the door, the train comes out of the tunnel and the lights fill the train car again. The zombies rush them, but they manage to shut the door before they can get them. 2 cars down, 2 left. But before they enter the next car, they discuss how when it starts, the zombies can't see anything. Before they go, So asks for Sang's phone. Under the cover of another tunnel, they quietly get about halfway into the car before So tosses Sang's phone to the back of the car and calls it. It rings with a loud song, and every zombie rushes to the back of the car, letting them all pass safely. 3 cars down, 1 to go. They've made it to car 13, which is where everyone was hiding in the bathroom. They open up the bathroom door to see everybody. It's a happy, albeit quiet reunion when the train comes out of the tunnel again and the zombies are alert. The quick thinking of Young saves them as he pulls them into the other restroom. So these 3 men are in one restroom, or in the men's restroom, and the other 4 in the ladies' restroom. So uses his phone to figure out how many tunnels they have to go through, and does some quick math to determine that each tunnel gives them roughly 2 minutes of dark time. Now they have to move 7 people across a zombie train car. Sang tells So that when Soan gets older, she'll realize all the sacrifices he made for her. She just can't see it right now. Dads get all the shit and no praise, is his exact words. Young sends a text to Jin saying that he's rescued and the people are coming. Excitedly, she tells the rest of the car that her friends are coming, and Jan says, "They came from all the way back there and made it all the way through with those monsters? Are you sure they're not infected? Are you sure they aren't infected?" He says in front of the whole car. All these people don't know what happened to their families. They might be dead or infected. Really trying to get the whole car on his side, which it seems like he does. For the time being, at least. Back to car 13. They enter the tunnel. Now's their chance. They have 2 minutes. There are way too many zombies to get through safely. So points out the overhead luggage storage, and it seems their only way is for half of them to get on one side and the other half to get on the other, and to crawl above everything on these overstorage bins. Once they get halfway down, So throws a bag and makes the zombies run to the front end of the car. They all climb down and make it to the door, except Homeless Man, who slips and falls and gets left behind. So goes to help him, but as he grabs him, the light comes on and they both quickly hide. With no one in direct line sight of the zombies, they are not aggressive yet. So tells the Homeless Man on the count of 3 they run. 1, 2, 3. Homeless Man immediately steps on a can, alerting the fucking zombies. God damn it. They manage to get through, but they can't shut the door all the way because zombie bodies are blocking the door closing. Young is trying to get Jin to open the door, but he can't hear anything from behind the doors. Because when Jin and that whole group, Jin, Yan, the attendant, and the rest of the people got on, they sprayed the doors, because the doors are all glass, they sprayed all the glass doors with the fire hydrant. So you can't see through it, because it's got fire hydrant stuff all on it, right? So Young is knocking on that door trying to get Jin to open, but he can't hear anything from the other side of it. Turns out on the other side, they used clothes to tie the door down to keep it from being opened. They're also holding Jin down and covering her mouth, hoping that she won't tell them what's going on in car 15. Yan even takes her phone and smashes it so she can't call Young back. So goes back to the zombie door to try and bash some brains and get the door to close, but the zombies don't budge. Sang has to reposition himself because he's losing grip on the door, and when he does, a zombie bites his hand. This part makes me so sad. Young manages to smash through the door, and Yan rushes to lock the next door. Young manages to get his arm wedged in the door so that it won't close. Yan is closing the door on his arm while a couple of other people help him close it. Jin manages to get the person holding her off, and she runs to get Yan off the door. Granny tells her sister's on the other side and also goes to the door to try to open it. Suwon is in the middle. To the rear, her dad and Sang are fighting to close a door, and to her front, they're fighting to open a door. She starts to cry. Sung slowly walks towards him. This part is so heartbreaking. Sung slowly walks towards him. The door they're trying to close is breaking. Sang tells So he will hold them off, but he has to take care of his wife and run. It's a super emotional scene. She's standing there crying, holding her belly that has their child in it, knowing that this is the last time she's going to see Sang. You thought we were done. You thought certainly no more heartbreak. No, sir. So says that he's sorry, grabs Sung, and is basically dragging her away as they're running. Sang says, Yun-soo. And Sung turns around to him, and with a smile on his face, he says, that's our baby's name. And they both smile, and the glass on the door gives way. Sung and So run, and Sang does what he does best, which is beat the hell out of zombies. He goes out fighting and protecting everyone. This dude's a fucking champ, I swear to God. And that's why I said in the beginning he's my favorite character. As Sang is fighting off the zombies, everyone else is trying to get the door open. Sang picks up a zombie and uses it as a shield to keep the rest of them back. His eyes start to turn white, and we can see him fighting, turning, to make sure everyone else makes it through. Everybody makes it except Granny. She was the last in line. Her sister has to watch as she gets chomped by a zombie right in front of her. For now, though, everyone is safe. So does what I've been wanting to do this whole time, and he punches Yon in the face, saying if he wouldn't have done that, they could have saved everyone. To which Yon starts screaming, this guy's infected! Now the whole car is scared, and they tell them that they have to sit in the vestibule. Vestibule is the word I was looking for earlier. Vestibule. That's the room between the two cars where the bathroom and the other thing is, where there's no seats, it's just the middle ways. Vestibule. Vestibule. If this was Reading Rainbow, I would say vestibule, and it would come up on the screen in blue letters. Vestibule. And now I've said it so many times it doesn't mean anything. They have to split again, but at least they're safe. Once they're out, they use more clothes to tie the door from opening. So they're like using clothes to like tie it around the handle because the doors, they're like sliding. So they're using it so that the doors can't be slid open, right? Granny's now sitting in the back, staring at her now zombie sister. She tells her she's stupid. If she wouldn't help people, she'd be alive right now. She goes to the door outside, puts her hand on the glass, and says thank you for everything, before opening the door and letting the zombies in. Now Yon got those people killed too. He's very good at that. I blame this fully on Yon, because if Yon wouldn't have locked the door in the first place, and would have waited for everyone in the first place, that Granny wouldn't have died, because they all would have made it in, and then Granny's sister wouldn't have been like, I want to be with my sister, and open the door to zombies. So all these people that are about to die in this car are Yon's fault too. Fuck Yon. Anyway, back to the conductor. He can't get a hold of Busan control. We can see the city out the window, and it's smoking too. It's undoubtedly not safe either. Now there's just 6 people left. So, Suwon, Sung, Young, Homeless Man, Jin. Well, there's 7 if you include the conductor, but... so 7 people. So tells Suwon that it's her birthday and he's going to get her to see her mom no matter what. Suwon asks if he's scared, and he says yes. Suwon tells him, I was so scared. I thought I'd never see you again. I practiced that song just for you, and that's why I couldn't finish it. Because I didn't see you there. Boom! More heartbreak. Weren't ready for that, were you? So close to another one. It's fucking hitting you, left and rights. So steps into the bathroom to call his ex-wife, but she doesn't answer. His phone rings back. It's Kim. He tells So that this whole mess was started by biotech, which is where they work. Kim is crying. He thinks it's their fault. They hang up, and So cleans himself of all the blood on him. And then he starts to cry. He's crying until the train hits its brakes hard and slams everyone to the ground. There's another train on the rails. They can't go any further. The conductor gets on the intercom and says they either wait for rescue or move to another train. Just as this happens, we see the bathroom door open, and who is it? Motherfucking Jan and the attendant. If there's one thing Jan does good, it's not die when I wish that he would. That came out like a Dr. Seuss quote. It wasn't. Jan is great at not dying. The conductor ends his announcement by saying he's going to find another working train, and that when he finds it, everyone alive needs to safely get to it. After checking a handful of trains, the conductor manages to find one in working condition and without zombies on it. Back to the bathroom with Jan and the attendant now. Jan peeks his head out of the restroom and we can see zombies right next to the door. He closes the door and the attendant asks if they are clear. Jan says, yes, we're clear. And that the attendant should go first. You should go first. It's clear. There's no one there. You should go. You should definitely go first. I fucking hate Jan. When the attendant opens the door, Jan pushes him into the zombies so he can escape the train. He gets off the train but is being chased by the zombies. The group of main characters are outside of the train looking for a new one. Looking for the new one the conductor is driving. Everyone they go up to, zombies are just pushed up against the window, so we can see that each one of them is just filled with fucking zombies. We're back to the conductor, and he's looking out the window very shocked. The music builds very quickly. Something is about to happen, and he manages to say, "What the fuck?" before the camera turns, and we see a train engine on fire on the tracks headed straight for him. Fuck, imagine, dude. Just your luck, right? The main group finds a safe train to hide out on, but before they can get into it, the train that was on fire derails, knocks into another train to their left, sending it toppling over on the train to their right. Young and Jin manage not to get stuck between the cars and hop onto a safe train. Young is messing with the door trying to get it to shut when, surprising to no one, Jan appears to fuck everything up again. Jan hops onto the train Young and Jin are on, and just to be the world's biggest dickhead, he grabs Jin and pushes her into the zombie that's been chasing him. Jin gets bitten, and I fucking hate Jan still. Young falls to the ground and holds Jin in his arms while crying. Jan manages to make it out the door because there are more people's lives that he has to ruin. He's as if Batman was a piece of shit. He appears when you least expect him, and his mission is to fuck everything up. Jan holds Jin as she turns. He tells her that he's sorry before she fully turns and attacks him. And this scene is so emotional too, because it was clear from the beginning that she had a thing for him, and you know, he kind of had a little thing for her, and she's the last surviving member of his team, even though she's not really on the team. And it's just emotional, and he just holds her as she completely just spazzes out and turns into a zombie and just fucking munches his neck right there. So good. So now we're down to 4. So, Suan, Sung, and the homeless man. And Jan, but I don't count Jan. So the 4 manages not to get crushed by the fallen train, but now they're stuck. Both trains they're stuck between have zombies, so they have to find another way out. Back to Jan. He's seen the new train the conductor is driving, and is booking it towards it. It looks like he's going to make it before he twists his ankle on the tracks and falls to the ground. The conductor sees him and leaves the safety of his moving train to go save him. Jan does the exact thing he has done to everyone else given the chance and feeds the conductor to the zombie so that he can get away. Jan gets up, runs to the train, which now has no driver, while the conductor gets eaten by a bunch of zombies. Back to the 4. So notices a small gap underneath one of the trains and crawls out. As he gets out, a large piece of metal falls over the hole. As So is trying to move the metal, the window finally starts to give way, and the zombies are now flooding into the gap they were stuck in. Without a second thought, the homeless man rushes the zombies and holds them back long enough for Suan and Sung to get out. What a fucking champ. This guy's done nothing the whole movie except for run, and now he just fucking self-sacrifices himself to save everyone else. What a fucking champ. I love this homeless man. Thank you, homeless man. You're a great character. They never even give him a name. I wish he had a name so that I could say thank you, insert name here, but thank you, homeless man. You deserve to have a name. They managed to escape, but now the whole horde is after them. Like, literally every zombie in the yard is chasing them. It's such a wild stampede that zombies are falling over each other. They reach the train, and So manages to get Suwon and Sung on it before he gets himself on it. It looks like they're finally safe, but of course, they aren't. A single zombie manages to grab the train, which gives enough space for another zombie to grab that zombie. Soon, there's a whole carpet of zombies out there being dragged behind the train, and they're using this sort of carpet to run on top of and try to get to the train, if that makes sense. So there's a bunch of them holding onto it, and it's probably stretching out 40, 50 feet because it's just zombie holding onto zombie, holding onto zombie, holding onto zombie. And now these other zombies are running on top of the carpet of zombies to try to get to the train. It's so fucking cool. Oh, God. So many things about this movie are so fucking cool. So goes to the back of the car and just starts kicking zombie hands to try to get them all off. If he can get their hands off the train, they'll be safe. After several kicks, he manages to detach all of the hands from the car, and the wave of zombies just kind of tumble over each other. Thank God. They did it. The three move to the front of the car, where we can see someone sitting in the driver's seat. It's just Jan, but it's not just Jan, because in typical Jan fashion, he has to ruin everything. He's turned, or is almost fully turned. So shuts the door to the driver's area. Now, zombies don't know how to use doors anyways, so it should be fine. No. Because Jan isn't fully turned yet. So he knows still how to act like a person. He's close, but he's not quite there. So this motherfucker uses the last bit of his fucking brain power to open the fucking door. And now they're standing on a walkway on the side of a train that is driving down the railroad tracks. And it's Jan facing So. And behind So is Suan and Sung. Okay? This walkway they're on is just wide enough for one person. So Young cannot get to Suan and Sung unless he goes through So. Jan begs for So's help. He says he's scared and that he wants to find his mom in Busan. So tells him he's infected. Jan looks at his hands and starts to cry, and then immediately fully turns and attacks. You knew you were infected, you fucking piece of shit! Anyway, he looks at his hands and starts to cry, and then immediately turns and attacks So. So tries to keep the girl safe, but the zombie knocks him down and goes for Suan and Sung. With seemingly no other option, So puts Jan in a headlock. Jan manages to bite him, but So walks Jan away from the girls. He grabs a chain that's hanging off the train, wraps it around his waist, and throws himself and Jan off. The chain keeps him from falling on the ground, but Jan is gone. Jan is finally dead. You see everything he ruined? You see everything. He ruined everything. No exaggeration. He's ruined everything. So many people could have survived if it wasn't for Jan. Say it with me. Everyone. Say 1, 2, 3. Fuck Jan. Okay? So notices he's been bitten. He acts quickly and takes Suan and Sung to the cockpit. I guess it's the word. I guess the cockpit is the right word. He sits Suan where he says that she'll be safe, and he shows Sung the brake. He says that when they're safe, use this to stop. So goes back to Suan, tells her to go with her mother and she'll be safe. Suan begs him not to go. They're both holding each other and crying. You thought the heartbreak was over? You thought once Young died, everyone would be happy? Nope. Incorrect. Because we can't end this movie without heartbreak. So here's some more for you. The heartbreak is never over in this movie. So tears the hands of his crying daughter off him and makes his way to the back of the train car. Really sad music is playing and we can hear Suan crying as well. So is still crying as he remembers the day Suan was born. As he's turning, his final memory is him holding Suan for the first time. He's standing there, eyes white, black veins, and he's smiling. His last moments are filled with good memories. All we see now is the shadow of the train and the shadow of So. His shadow starts to lean forward, so slowly, until he hits the ground. Suan is watching from the cockpit, with Sung holding her, and they cry together. Their train ride is silent. Sung sees the barricades on the track just before a tunnel. Barbed wire and fences block the entrance. There are corpses of zombies all over the place. Sung hits the brakes. This is the end of their ride. The girls get out of the train and walk hand in hand to the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel is a full blockade with a sniper on a lookout. They notice the girls walking towards them. They say over the radio they have 2 people approaching. The voice on the radio tells them to confirm whether they are infected or not. The tunnel is pitch black. The soldier radios again, unable to tell if infected or not. The voice on the other end just says, kill them. The sniper readies his gun, the scope pointed directly at Sung's head. Right as he is about to pull the trigger, he heard Suan singing. She's singing the song that she learned for her dad for her recital. We didn't get to hear it at the time. This is the first time we can hear she's singing Aloha Oi, which I looked up what this was. The most basic way I can explain the song is it's a meaningful goodbye. If you've ever seen, like, I think they used it in Lilo and Stitch, and they've used it in other movies. It's supposed to be a real heartfelt song. Usually when someone has passed, or you're not going to see them for a long time. Aloha Oi literally translates to, like, goodbye to someone special, essentially. I think it's like goodbye love, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a lover, like a loved one, like goodbye loved one. One last heartbreak. That was it. One last time. Boom. Heartache. The soldiers call out, we got survivors. And the whole squad comes running to rescue them. And that's the end. Whew! I got heated sitting in this closet talking about this. What a great fucking movie. What a great movie. Like I said earlier, this is my favorite zombie movie by far. So many moving parts and so many great characters. Because of all the extra shit that I wanted to say about this is the longest script I've written by like a whole extra page. Like, this script is so much longer than what I've usually done. Fuck, I love this movie. Also, I think I should start rating movies. I haven't actually done that in any of the other ones. I just say that I like them or I dislike them. I need to work out a rating system. I'll work out a couple rating systems, see what I can come up with. I feel like Popcorn Buckets is really overused. I feel like every movie podcast is always like, 4 popcorn buckets out of 5, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, but I'll workshop something. I'll figure something out. Until then, I will give this movie 10 infected zombie bites out of 10. I loved it. It's fantastic. If you have a chance to watch it, watch it. To the few people I know personally that listen to this, if you can't find it on Disney Plus, let me know. I'll give you the DVD. Okay? You need to watch it. It's fantastic. Alright, everyone. Until next time, enjoy the nightmares. See ya.